Hi, Julia.
Hi there. Thank you so much for taking my question. My girl right now, she has an air of entitlement, like this queen persona, and she's giving me probably back a lot what I've given out, where she just feels like she's being told what to do. She feels bossed around. So she has this strappy, I'm using these adjectives, this strappy attitude and she's very, strong-willed.
Yes. How old is she?
She's 6.
Oh,
So,
6. Oh my goodness. So
yeah.
so very strong-willed and very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can hear in your voice just in telling the story. I'm almost getting a little bit, not almost, but I'm getting a little triggered just hearing the story. Does it feel stressful to you to just retell it?
Yeah, yes, because I'm trying to be quick here as well, but um,
So
you
let me
know,
ask you something. What's your goal? Because we always want to, I have on the screen if you guys can see, we always move through those three areas: support, stress, and skills. Whenever we're trying to figure out what do I do in this moment, once we regulate ourselves and we can come back to the situation, what is it that, let's talk about just your long term goal. Because I think I heard you mention it a couple of sentences back. You don't want her to be entitled, you want her to be gracious and
yes.
grateful. Yeah, if I can just ease your mind a little bit, because if she was 13 and having those challenges, I would be more, say we've got a bigger challenge to overcome. But the fact that she's 6, that's very typical. And it's okay that that happens because that's normal. It's what we do to contain it that has the most impact later. So it's not the fact that it's happening. Some kids are just aggressive. Some kids have lots of, you said she's very spirited, she's very strong willed. So that strong will, when we tamp it down, and even if we need to put a boundary around it, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And here's the thing also, that doesn't mean that we don't contain it and that we don't say that this isn't okay. But let's think. So we know that our long-term goals are, we want someone who can be self-regulated, right? I heard you say you want her to be able to contain all of that anger, and be nonviolent. But I don't think that you want her to lose some of that, that self-determination. It sounds like that's a really great quality trait.
I think it's important,
Because here's what you want to think of, and you keep thinking for a second, and I'll just share this with everybody else. You want to remember that sometimes if we're too worried about what's going to happen in the future, oh, she'll never be grateful, or she'll always have this air of entitlement, or she won't, all of these ideas and these worries that come up, we lose sight of what the challenge is in the moment. Like, what skill am I working on? So let's think about it in terms of support, stress, and skills. And this can help you narrow down your goal, and then we can come back. Because what you want to do is focus on, what do I need to do in this moment? Is it that I see that she's really having some challenges with her regulation and she's getting very aggressive? So what we need to work on right now is just that. What does she have in place? What's around the house that when she's feeling all those feelings and you say, I know that you're angry, they can't have screen time anymore, here's where you can go to let that out, because it's not okay to hit me, or it's not okay to throw things, but it's okay to be angry. Let's go out in the backyard. Let's go bounce on the beanbag, or let's go jump on the trampoline, or let's squeeze this Play-Doh. What is it that she uses to regulate that stress? Do you have those things in place? Sometimes it's a support challenge, so that means that our kids aren't really feeling connected. You also said earlier, I know that maybe it's some things that I've been doing, or the way that I've been acting or reacting in the moment. So maybe just going back to her and acknowledging some of that. I remember when I took away your iPhone or your iPad the other day, and you screamed really loud, and then I screamed back. I bet that was really scary for you, and I'm sorry. Going back to repair can help kids reconnect, and then they are more likely to be influenced by what we have to say. So it doesn't mean that she's going to immediately learn how to regulate her emotions. She's only 6. It's going to take some time. She's not going to immediately have the skill to, when we say put down the screen time, oh, okay, no problem, in transition. It might be you going over and being the boundary. Just last week we were talking to another parent, and I said, it's okay if we have to go and stand in front of the TV and say, I'm here to help. We agreed, we made this agreement. Now, this was with a 14-year-old. We were talking about making agreements, but with a 6-year-old, it's really about letting them have those emotions. So if our goal is helping her regulate, then how does she do that? Where does she get those regulation tools from? What are the sensory tools that we use? My daughter, I've mentioned a lot, she used to like massages and deep pressure. That used to help regulate her, or swinging on swings. So those were some of the things. But some kids are regulated by music or just cuddles. They just want to fall in your arms, and they don't want you to stand apart saying, this is the limit, follow me. But they want to hear you say, come in close. Now, it depends. Not every kid is like that, of course. And then there's the skill. So once we get through, we're reconnected and we're regulated, because sometimes there's a support, a skill, and a stress challenge all combined at once. But once we get through those first two of support and stress, then we can think about, what skills are we working on? Was she supposed to turn off the screen time and then wasn't able to and had a real big challenge, and that's when the blow up happened? So let's plan and think about, okay, how are we going to try? It didn't work for you to remember just on your own. What do you want to try next time to shut off the screen? It's about how we go and problem solve with our kids that's going to help her mature with that empathy that I think you're looking for. But I want to ask you if you